And what do you think the lessons are for today, for journalists today, from Ben and?
I'm going to tell you, not to get it wrong. This is another thing that he said. He says, you have to have all the confidence in the world that that story you're putting on the front page is the truth. Because if it's not, he said, you have to eat it for 24 hours, and it doesn't taste good. And that was back when, you know, an incorrect story or an inaccurate story you'd have, you know, 24 or 48 hours in order to clean it up. Now it has all sorts of repercussions that go around the world much, much faster. And I think that was a paramount. If I was going to divine what is the lesson to learn from then and now, is number one, never stop, but number two, it's got to be right. And you see examples of it if there's so much of a sliver, a crack in the authenticity of it, there is not only is there a certain price to pay, but you give an opening to the liars to make hay of that.
Yeah, these repercussions are instant, and then they last actually more than 24 hours these days.
Well, yeah, now they'll base policy on it, you know,
Right.
or you know, continue on a guerrilla war against the Fourth Estate that will just go on and on and on and on, fueled by inaccuracies.
Right. So how do you think journalism is doing these days? What is your assessment?
Well, I think it's kicking
this
ass,
this movie is about courage and journalism and great journalism. But what's your thought on journalism today? How are we doing?
Well,
and you don't have to be kind just because you're here at the Washington Post.
Thank you. Well, I'm now to the point that I have removed all news alerts from my phone.
Really?
I'm not part of any email chain because I found that there was a ton. I mean, it was ringing honestly every 3 minutes from some source or another. I also got rid of Solitaire, so I'm not playing so much of that. Because the volume of it is too ongoing, and I found myself looking at the headlines, and yet not reading into the stories just because there was so much. I think bona fide, good, true reflection of the Fourth Estate, as it is meant to be, is fabulous now because it's more valuable than ever before. The war that is going, the guerrilla war, I think, that is going on by obfuscating and denigrating, you know, the aspect of what journalism and what a free press means, is really meant to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to give somebody plausible deniability. If you keep saying it's fake, it's false, it's a lie, it's a lie, it's a lie, when the truth comes out, you have a pretty good record of saying that it's a lie, it's a lie, it's a lie. And at the same time, of course, there is legitimacy of that brand of outlet that is hell-bent on putting out false news or innuendo, treating fantasy or, you know, conspiracy as outright fact. And by that, you delude the playing field, which I think, again, makes the work of journalism as defined by the great American tradition of it more valuable than ever before. There's an adage that just the truth will out. At the end of the day, the nonsense disappears by the wayside and the truth remains. It's, you know, lies are made out of sticks and gossip is made out of straw, but the truth is made out of brick. And it stands there for a long time. It stands the test of time.
And you still believe that because these days a lot of people are worried that the public won't be able to distinguish between fact and fiction. They won't know what are the falsehoods and what is the truth. Because they're breaking into sort of tribes. It's a very tribal environment.
I am a lay historian by choice. I read history for enjoyment, and there has always been. This has always been. There has always been a Father Coughlin on the radio or a Colonel McCormick with a great metropolitan newspaper at his disposal. There has always been this, and yes, they hold sway. They're able to steer public issues for a while, but eventually they fall down. Because it's a porous enterprise, and it is based on an agenda, and eventually people catch up. The reality is, of course, is that the technology is letting all that happen at hyper speed on steroids. But along with that, too, the truth can go around the world almost as fast as a lie. And a lie will disappear in time, and a truth will remain as constant as the speed of light. And so therefore, I think I think that people who have that same ethos and have that same sense of responsibility of let's get it right. Because if you get it right, all they can do is disagree with it. They can't argue with it. They can only tell you whether or not it's important or not. And time tells that.